Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And I think my microphone was on a little bit low there. Right, I'm up today. It's Friday, so welcome to the weekend. And I've got a very small haul. I have cut some bits and bobs out, and we're going to put those together from this haul. And I've already tested a couple of stamps which I've left on my block because I'm going to use them again for you. And I promise you, I have cleaned them. Arrange your archival. And they didn't come up so clean, but there you have it. Right, so first up, and I've already got it out the pack, and you saw the two stamps at the bottom, is a mail set. So we've got our little postcard set up, the cancellation, we've got little butterflies, we've got flowers. In fact, if I get a sheet of white cardstock, you might be able to see a lot better. That's better. We've got a heart. We've got the lifty up and down doodah thing, you know, that goes on your mailbox. And you've got those little elements there for going into that tiny little stamp. So that's my first stamp set. And we are going to stamp all these. Got to make sure stuff works. And where did I just put that? Oh, there it is. My other stamp set, which is the sweetest thing that you ever did see. I love tiny script. Special delivery, sending love. You got hugs. It's your lucky day. It's a good day. You've got this, which when you use 3 makes a lucky clover. You've got a bow. I haven't got a clue what that bit is yet. I'm sure I'll figure it out. And then you've got little bits that you can dot onto sprigs to make flowers. You've got those little flowers. There's a heart, there's a crown, there's a postage stamp and cherries, and there's have a nice day. I'll put my finger there so you can see. That's my little finger. Isn't it sweet? So put down there, you know, you can see with the scale. I mean, some of these are really nice and small anyway. But you know me, I like my little things. So I'm just moving that piece out. And dies. I've got dies that go in tying with this set. So I've got a mailbox, and you've got the lifty up flappy doodah, and I've got an envelope and a letter. So we're going to make those, and then we're going to stamp some of these. Right, so I've already cut the mailbox, and this is what I've got, and it makes a little pocket. So I've cut my lifty uppy doodah in red because that's mine, that I've got as a mailbox, and I've cut my pocket in craft cardstock. And you're also going to need a little brad so that you can attach your doodah to your doodah, which will go in there. So then your flap will lift up and down to say, you know, you've got mail. Oh yes, we like it when we've got mail. So I'll just put those there for a second, because the first thing to do is to use the stamps. So I just showed you those on the block. I tried to clean them unsuccessfully. So I'm lifting off the front section. So this stamp goes to the back of your mailbox. And I'm going to ink it up. And I know that it works, but I'm going to show you that it works. Now, I will tell you, I do not know if these are still available. All I can do is link to the store where I tend to get all of my journal-y type stamps, and you might find it. So I'm sorry, but that's the best that I can do. So I'm going to decide. I can't even see what I'm doing here, so I'm just going to go there. I may not even be straight, but I'm going there anyway. Right, I think I've got some good contact there. I'll leave it for a few seconds for my archival to absorb. There we go. So I've got a stamp down on there, which I think is just brilliant. It's just a nice little quirky extra touch. And then we've got the door section, which goes here. And then this is the back of your pocket. And then this piece, I want to kind of attempt to line it up. I'm going to go there. I might not be straight, so you have to forgive me. I'm going to allow that few seconds absorption contact. And there we go. So that is our back of our pocket. And I hope I didn't go all blurred. Ah, yes, there we go. You can see I'm a little bit skew-if, but it doesn't bother me because I just think that's fabulous. And while I'm looking at that set, I'm going to get the mail. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get mail, and I might even use that eagle wingy thing. So I'm just going to do that in black again as we've got all these out. And I hope everyone's going to have a great weekend. I truly, truly do. I'm going to put mail down here. Make a little bit of contact. So I've got my mail stamped on there. I just love this. I could play with stamps like this forever. I mean, they just bring you joy. And then I'm going to have my eagle doodahs, my wings at the top. They might not be for that bit, but I quite like the idea of having them there. Just as a little bit of extra. So I'm going to go there. And there we have it. That's my mailbox at the back. Yes, and I love that. So we can see that that works. I've got bunches of ink all over my fingers. Right, let's put this together. So we've got score lines here, and I hope you can see that. I'm going right in. Ooh, I've got weird light today. There it is. We've got our score lines top and bottom. So we need to fold on the score line. And then on the score line. Trying to make sure that I'm doing it straight. And I'm going to grab my bone folder. Just get that smoothed out. And then we've got a score in the middle, and I'm just going to fold that. Now you can choose to have your bits inside or outside, entirely up to you. And there is an extra piece here, which I'm not that fond of, so I think I'm going to just, you know, trim that off. I mean, you can, if you want to, put your bits on the outside, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to glue it, and then I'm going to trim that bit off that I don't like. Oh, she says, before I do that, I need to put my flippy up doodah on. Otherwise, I won't be able to get my fingers in to fix it. So just put my little brad into there to hold that down. And then I'm going to open it out. There we go. Right, now on with the glue. And I might vanish just for a couple of seconds while this dries, because my humidity at the moment, after all the rain and everything, is absolutely horrendous. So I want that to go on straight. I want that bit there to glue. And I will be back in a second. Right, so that's dry. So that's the back of my little mail pocket, and I trimmed off that little bit that I didn't like. And then when you flip it over, you got your lifty uppy doodah thing. Isn't that great? Oh yes, there's mail in the box, so we need to put mail in the box. So that other die that I showed you, which was the envelope and the little letter, I'd already done one in dotty paper, but we are going to make one. And here's the little letter that goes inside. Once again, my lighting, and I do apologise. So I'm just going to pop that in and close that up because you can see. Isn't that great? It's like playing house, yeah. So I cut one in brown cardstock and you can see all of those score lines around, and it's just really easy. You just got to go around and just bend everything, and then we're going to put some glue. So you fold your little flaps in and that little flap will come up. So just along here I'm going to put my glue. And pop that down, lift that up and just hold that for a second. And I did cut another little letter to go inside of that one. But I'm looking at my stamps and I'm thinking I might stamp something onto that one from that set. So I think that's going to hold. So let's look at the stamps and see what we've got. Right, I'm going to use the postcard stamp from the set that's got the mailbox stamps on it. And I'm just going to grab my block because this is so lovely and tiny. I mean, it would be nice to do it in different coloured ink, but I'm using what I've got on my table. So you have to forgive me if you can't see this, but I'm just trying to line it up a little bit. So I've stamped postcard, and I'm going to stamp, I think the stamp, yeah, why not? So I'm just going to ink that up and then find a place where I can squeeze that in, which is probably going to be there. And then you get little bits that you can stamp in your stamp, and there's a teeny weeny butterfly, so I totally have to do that. When I pick this up and put my little fingernail by it, you'll see exactly what I mean. Can you see that? Isn't that cute? And what else have I got that I can use? Oh, I've got a cancellation. Although I don't want to use that one. Oh, I'll use this one. I've got this little postmark. And I'm just going to put that right over by the stamp. And go there. So we've got a little cancellation mark. And of course, as I was saying, if you do it in different colour inks, you know, you're going to get some really nice effects. And then what else am I going to do? I've got a lovely big heart here. I'm just going to stamp a big heart on it. And I'm looking at the colours. I'm going to have a blue heart because I've got a couple of archival inks still left on the desk. So I'm just going to go in with some blue. Why not? I'm going to put that there. Oh, isn't that sweet? Oh, I do like that. And then I need to stamp a couple from my other new set. And I've got my sheet of cardstock. Alright. So that's my little bit of fun, and that can just go inside there for now. Wiggle all the way down, and that closes up. And that can also go in your mailbox, so you can put little bits of ephemera or anything. But look at that. Isn't that just cute? Yeah. And now I've got mail. Yeah, I love that. I love the back of it. But as I said, I will try and find a link. But if I can't, I'll just link to the store where I usually get all my stamps that are like this. So that's the first bit. And now a sheet of white cardstock, which I hope doesn't blind everybody. And let's use a couple of these because these are small as well. And it's the word stamps that really interest me, because to find a tiny stamp like that will actually stamp, that says special delivery on it. So let's have a look, and then I can hold them up. So I'm just going to stamp first. I need to make sure I've got it the right way around. I'm going to go there. And it does, it stamps, so I can see it. And the only reason I can see it is because I've got my glasses on. And then I'm going to stamp the little butterfly. That's a lovely stamp as well. You know, if you've got film strips and things like that and you're looking for little critters to stamp inside of them, it's a perfect size. Really sweet little bow. Perfect. And what else can we pick from here? I think the cherries are lovely, but if I'm going to do those, I need to get my green, and I'm going to pause for a second while I grab the red. Right, so there we go. I've got my green and I've got my red, and I'm going to take the cherry stamp out of here. Oh, it's actually fixed in, so I'm going to have to trim that because I don't want my stamp to be like that. And what I do when I trim stamps, be careful because you don't want to ruin it, but just poke your hole and then go inside and cut your bits out. Because you want to keep your postal frame intact. There's an awful lot of my stamps, I don't know if you've seen some of my videos, where I'll just hack out the bits that I want to use, because you can still use it, you know, as intended, but if there's another way that you want to use it, then you can absolutely do that too. Right, now I've got my bits, and I'm going to put my bits here. Let's stamp this first. Let's pop the cherry inside that stamp. I'm getting my things out of the way. Let's have a look at this. This looks like such a pretty stamp. Let's pop you down here. You don't want to over squash stuff like this because they've got delicate lines in them. So we've got our stamp down, and now I'm going to put the cherry back in. So I'll just lay that on there, and I'm going to go in with my green first. So I'm using the, this is the Wendy Vecchi. You have to be, you know, kind of on the lookout for inks like this, because you'll find that Ranger archivals can be cheaper than the designer archivals. Whoops, let's get that. I'm going to put that there. And some of the colours can be very similar. So, you know, even though it's nice to have lots of colours, You can save a lot of money just by looking at something that's closer to it, and you might save a couple of dollars on that ink pad just by choosing Ranger rather than one of the designer archivals. And now I'm going to go with a leaf. Get my fluff off there. I'm going to go with another leaf. Going in that direction. And then I'm going to go with my cherries. And I want to make sure these are the right way around. Right. So now I'm going in with barn door. And I think I've taken quite a while doing this, but I'm hoping that I get them there. Let's leave that down just for a second. And there we go. We've got our cherries inside our stamp. So all of these stamps work. And I think just to end up, I'll put the heart because it's got a very fine line. So it's always nice to know when fine lines work. I mean, that one and that one has, and I am going to pick these up, but let's check out the detail on the heart. And that's fabulous. I mean, you cannot ask for better than that. Right, so first up, it was my little mailbox with its lovely little flappy doodah and its stamp on the back. I absolutely love that. I can't wait to shove that into a pocket. And then there's a close-up of those. Look at the fine detail. So if I put my finger in, you can see exactly how well they've stamped, and you can certainly see special delivery. Love it. Right, I thank you so much for joining me. I really do. Please excuse my throat again. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and as usual, all links below. Bye.